Alright, so we're back once again, and today we're going to be featuring the Icarus, the Tier 6 British DD. This ship's a little bit of it's a fun little ship. Again, it's Tier 6. I think we're up tiered, because I think I seen a King George the 6th. Okay, we're mid-tier, so again, this should be a pretty decent game. I haven't had actually all that much time to play games recently, so this is probably one of the few that I've managed to get a recording of. That being said, we're a little bit late to the game because for some reason the client, whenever I start joining games now, that it just disconnects for some reason. I don't know if that's a bug or something else, but hey, we didn't lose too much except for 2 ships going down, so hopefully we can still have an impact in the game and not get absolutely destroyed. Now, as you'll see on the minimap, the Gaiety and the Nicholas is pushing to sea, so I have to be extremely careful of that. I do have Hydro, I do have 5 smokes, which is a pretty nice perk of the British DDs. So we're going to push in a little bit. Obviously, we have detection range of 6.6 kilometers, so we have to be really wary of that. There's no way in hell I can contest this gap, but I think I'm going to try anyways because, well, why not? And obviously because I'm not that great of a player. Now, that being said, I think my thinking here was to get sneaky torps on the smoke there, but I realized pretty soon that, you know, he's behind that island. There's probably not going to be much of a chance to actually get any torp hits, so I decided to angle them a little bit out towards Pensacola at the same time. Now, obviously, British DDs are, I would say they're pretty unique to the line. Somehow that guy managed to hit one of the torps. Again, we're playing at relatively low tiers, so you can expect stuff like that just to randomly happen. But so far, I've actually been pretty enjoying the British DD line. It reminds me a lot of the US DD line, because generally the guns feel a lot similar, and with 5 smokes, it kind of replicates in a weird way the fact that you have a really long duration smoke. You know, the downtime in between, like, your smoke isn't all that significant. I think it's like 40 seconds, maybe something more. Which, again, is not all that much. And because you have so many of them, it's like having a really long duration smoke. So in that kind of way, the playstyle's a little bit similar. Now, obviously, there's different quirks you have to learn, different things, but overall, it's not all that different. Now, again, obviously, you have to be wary of DD or carrier planes, but, you know, that's a discussion for a different day. So we get the Gaiety down, and I decide, hey, okay, this is free as all hell. I'm going to push in and hopefully contest C. But the thing we have to be wary of is the Pensacola and the Fuso on our right hand flank. And I thought maybe I'd get some cheeky torps off right here, but I shot my load a little bit too soon, pun not intended, and he does, I think, just about manage to dodge. And now I'm in a really vulnerable position because A, I don't have any support because, well, the Nicholas can use the island for cover, and B, my entire right flank is exposed to 2 Pensacoolas and a Fuso. So that was a really high risk play, but didn't have all that much a reward. Now, luckily the Nicholas got detonated by the Helena, so I was a little bit lucky there to get out of that situation. And now the fact that the Pensacoolas are out of range, I'm undetected, boom, we're happy enough. So all that's really left is just a cap C, and then maybe start pushing towards B, because I can see, you know, when you're playing DDs, you have to really make a conscious decision about where you're going to be most effective the majority of the time. And I can see the Fuso's almost dead, the Pensacoolas are on the edge of the map, and they're both like pulling away from me. I'm in an area where the carrier's basically focusing, and I'm getting smacked by that Pensacola. But my maximum effectiveness right here is going to be incredibly low. There's literally no reason for me to be here. Now, this is my line of thinking. You might disagree. You might not. Leave me a comment if you do disagree. Don't know why I said that. But from my point of view, I can see 3 BBs on the lower flank or the left-hand flank coming straight at me. And so I can be maximally effective as a DD hunting down those BBs. You know, I set coordinates straight at them. We're going straight at them. Hopefully we can land a couple of torps. And of course, as I said, we have the beautiful 5 smokes that pretty much all British DDs have, so we can use them to their maximum effectiveness. Now, this was the plan. I'm not saying this is what actually happened, but in my head, this is like what's going to happen. So again, this ship's a range of 10.6 kilometers, which isn't terrible for a tier 6 DD. Again, the guns are a little bit lackluster. Obviously, the turret versus it doesn't keep up with the rudder shift, so which is kind of expected. Which makes you very it limits your gun power quite a bit. You know, there's times where I want to get the full salvo on like the Colorado, for example, and I have to show a little bit, you know, a lot of broadside right here. You know, one lucky hit and I could be taking 6-7k easily. But that being said, we do use our smoke. We do start firing at the Colorado. Again, we're not lucky enough to get any fires. I'm not entirely sure what the fire chance is on this ship. But again, we're just trying to start fires consistently. Maybe land a couple of torp hits. Again, at this point, it's about maximizing damage. Again, we're in a pretty strong position. You know, we're losing B cap, but we're up like 200, 300 points. And they have 5 ships dead to our 2. So the game's looking pretty successful. Now keep in mind that the Fuso on our right hand flank is basically dead. The Pensacola is probably going to be dead based on its positioning. And for some reason here, I decided to turn into a rock. And I just managed to get out of the positioning. Now, the right decision here, if we pause, no, if we slow down, the right positioning here isn't to keep going straight ahead. Because the King George is pushing our flank. I don't know what I'm detected by. But the King George is pushing our flank, and Nicholas has just popped up at 6.2 kilometers. The correct position here is to turn out to the right, get as near to that island as possible. We can torp the Colorado as it comes in. Maybe we'll die, but we'll do a shitload of damage to the Colorado, and we'll be able to maximize our damage to Nicholas. Right now, what I'm doing is that I'm just trying to 1v1 a Nicholas, knowing that the King George is right there to back him up, and the OKT Revolutia is right there to back him up. So the actual maximum damage output I can get is really minimal, versus if I was actually to use torps. If I was to use torps on the Colorado, I would probably have a chance of hitting maybe 1 or 2, and you know, I would do a lot more maximum damage. But either way, I'm pretty much, you know, I'm done for right here. Now I do smoke up, but I can't shoot anyways because he's going to be within range, and I know he's going to torp just by the way he was turning out. So I accelerate out of the smoke, and I managed to dodge his torps. Now again, this is probably a little bit bad play by me. I should have clicked there, but I forgot I couldn't get the click off in time before I switched to guns. Luckily he takes a massive salvo, so my torps aren't needed. But at this point I have 6.6 detectability range. Even here I had the opportunity to turn out to the right and get away, but I decided for some reason to turn to the left, which puts me right in the fire lane of the Colorado and these 3 BBs. And as you're about to see, the King George absolutely smacks me for 2k right there. You know, not as bad as it could have been. That is a lot worse. Smacks me for another 3k. At this point I know I'm dead. It's just about, you know, trying to farm a little bit more damage. Now we're lucky we do get a fire. And we do get the repair off, but again, our days are numbered. And as the final salvo comes in, we go down. Now, that being said, there's pretty key moments here that we should focus on. And I think the most important one being that the fact that I disconnected from the game at the start. If I didn't disconnect from the game at the start, who knows, I might have made completely different choices. What am I saying? What am I saying? No, the key decision here was when I was pushing B, and I should have turned right instead of turning left. It put me direct in the firing line of 2 BBs, and as a result, I completely lost my life for no reason. Now that being said, we're still going to win the game, but it's always good to look at what you don't do well, even in a game where, you know, you get like 30k damage. Because that way you improve a lot quicker than you otherwise would. You don't accept a win as being I played good. No, that's really bad result-based analysis, which you should try to avoid at every possible point in your gameplay experience. But with that being said, I hope you learned something. If you enjoyed it, you can subscribe or comment. If you didn't, you can subscribe and comment. And I'll see you in the next one.